These are the funniest moments the racing world has ever seen.
Hey! Hey! Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on!
The Centura comes to a halt.
Like this lunatic who literally crossed the track mid-race.
Ted, I'm just going to interrupt you there for a minute, because that is just the most idiotic thing.
Thank God nothing happened. But speaking of nothing happening, this was at the season's beginning, by the way. Well, at least he'll wake up fresh, and then have a long and successful career in that Red Bull. By the way, these moments are only gonna get funnier and funnier, like what these bikers were doing. Cause when they just started racing, things got mixed up. No, literally. It's like watching dominoes fall, but with motorcycles. But speaking about insanity, when Fernando Alonso was driving, his steering wheel came out.
Change the steering wheel. There's a problem with the steering wheel.
I mean, what the fuck? He even tried to put it back a couple times. I guess this is what happens when you get close to Lance Stroll. Later, you'll see an F1 car flying on top of another. But guys, nothing beats when Nelson Piquet turned his car into a taxi. He picked up 3 drivers. 3! Now that's disappointing. I feel like he could have picked up more. But sometimes, the funniest moments happen before the race even begins. Like what this fan did to Matt Kenseth. Right before the start, each driver prepares themselves to be in the zone, focus on their race, their plan, strategies, and of course to have a great start. But just when this race was about to start, this fan approached Matt and said,
A moment ago, here's what's happened. A fan somehow gets out of the infield area, comes out on the track, and is trying to get Matt Kenseth's autograph.
Oh, do you think alcohol had anything at all to do with that?
What timing! He wanted an autograph on the road right before the race start.
Nice.
But speaking of bad timing, you gotta see what Vitantonio Liuzzi did, especially since his first corner move looked like a video game.
And Alonso leads the Italian Grand Prix. We've got a car approaching sideways. Takes 2 out with him. So at least 3 cars.
Guys, that's not racing, that's madness. Even their team principal said, subscribe. Just kidding. Anywho, what's even funnier than that is this marshal's reaction. But guys, sometimes it's the weather that creates the funniest chaos. So, when rain hit this racetrack, almost every car collided at that same corner. But guys, James Hunt's reaction? Legendary. See, usually when a driver collides, he screams, let off some steam. But once they get out of the car, they go calm, as they know that there's no point. But not James.
A coming together with Patrick Depailler towards the end of the race left Hunt stranded at the racetrack. Hunt took particular exception to this, refusing to move before lashing out.
Hunt made sure to stay on track and give Patrick, the guy he crashed with, a piece of his mind. Even that marshal never got close to him again. But now, we're getting to the good stuff, starting with Austin Dillon's epic fail. When he won the race, Austin tried to do something special. But he failed miserably. But nothing's funnier than this. Rowan Atkinson, you know, Mr. Bean. Turns out he's a big car guy, in case you didn't know.
But, you know, one of my worries about coming on the show was that I think that people know that I'm a car enthusiast and that I have done some racing.
And since he's a big car guy, he knows a lot about racing as well, especially when it comes to Martin Brundle.
I enjoyed the motorsport dinner the other night. I didn't get a chance to come over and say hello.
True, yeah, I saw you. You were very good.
I don't know about that, but Mr. Bean reckons to all of this Formula One malarkey.
Yeah. Well, he would enjoy it very much because he's a car enthusiast, as you know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he has a magnificent car.
I guess he knows Brundle too well. And the best part, Brundle didn't even realize he's mimicking him. But guys, George Russell's radio call. Pure comedy gold.
Is anyone else reporting rain?
Are you hot?
Huh?
He mistook his sweat for rain during the race.
Sounds like it's just you supporting the rain.
I suspect it might be the sweat.
And here I thought it was only Ferrari who messes up their drivers.
Is there a leakage?
A leakage of what?
I have the seat full of water, like full of water.
Must be the water.
Speaking of messing up, during a yellow flag, when this medical car was trying to do its job, suddenly...
He's in need of an aspirin. This is a Porsche. And all of a sudden... whack.
Not only did he stop a medical car, but also collided with it.
That's one for the books.
This one's for the books indeed. But Kimi's rant? Even better. Kimi Räikkönen, the guy who explains everything in so many words.
Kimi, what happened?
I spun.
Well, when he was with Ferrari, something funny happened there.
Steering wheel. Claps the steering wheel here. Steering wheel. Hey! Hey! Steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to me.
Ferrari was taking the car to the front, but without the steering wheel. I mean, what else did you expect? But for $1 million, I guarantee you can't guess what happened here.
The Centura comes to a halt. Kurt Luby bodily removed from the car.
Yup, that's some speed. But wait, why do I think I've seen this before? But guys, you won't believe what this driver went through. When the race started, Nigel Mansell immediately overtook for the lead.
That start, and apparently Nigel Mansell just went for it. It is Mansell, Patrese, Senna, Prost, and the rest of...
But the situation got even better when his closest rivals, McLaren, retired. This was a big deal, considering McLaren drivers won all the previous races of the year. So Nigel, way ahead of everybody, literally smoking the competition. And in the last couple laps, Mansell had the win in sight. So much so that on the last lap, he even became a bit overconfident and started waving to the crowd, which ultimately turned into embarrassment.
Nigel Mansell's very slow.
He's not only slow, he's stopped.
He has stopped. Nigel Mansell is beating on the car. Could this be?
Since Mansell started waving to the crowd, this caused his engine revs to drop too low, that it shut down the car's electronic system. Some stories even suggest that Mansell allegedly took the hairpin in 6th gear and let the revs drop too low on the final lap. Stranded in the middle of the track, with the finish line in sight, Mansell lost the victory to Nelson Piquet.
Tried to push again the last lap, but when I saw him, I couldn't believe it.
But guys, what about when race cars stack on top of each other? Yep, that's just ridiculous. But that happened at the start of the race, and that too with the legend Michael Schumacher. Now, trust me when I say this, the crazy part isn't that the car was on top of another and Michael barely got saved. The crazy part is Schumacher was laughing. He was literally a few millimeters away from disaster. Everybody was tense watching it, like literally everybody. But Schumacher, nope, nothing from him at all.
Well, he's smiling now. They're having a good chat. I mean, he had nowhere to go, Lutzi, did he? And in a sense, told him back.
Seriously, how is that even possible? But I know one thing that's definitely possible. Smashing that subscribe button right now. But look, now that we're at the top 3 funniest moments, buckle up, because things are about to go to a whole new level. And at number 3, we have the lovely Ferrari's legendary incompetence. Everyone knows the disaster Ferrari made in 2022.
And box now, box now, box for hard. Stay out.
Why? What happened?
Tire, position 5, multifunction tire.
Well, since then, they've decided to make constant upgrades. Week after week, they get better and better.
Box, Carlos, box. Pit confirming box.
Stay out.
What happened? We're not ready.
Wake up, guys, come on.
But at the Chinese GP, they went to the next level. See, both Hamilton and Leclerc were struggling. Leclerc even had damage to the car, but somehow they still brought home P4 and P5. I know, it's not the best result, but not the worst either. And that too during a super tight season. So, with underperforming cars, in a cutthroat session, getting a P4 and 5 was definitely required, as it still keeps them in the fight.
Let's start, though, with the big breaking Formula One news today that both Ferrari drivers have been disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc.
I swear, this is not real life. Double disqualification. Charles's car was underweight, and Hamilton's had excessive plank wear. I guess that's Ferrari F1 for you. But coming in at number 2, we have NASCAR's unbelievable repair tactics. See, in F1, when there's damage to the car, teams usually just retire the car or make careful, precise repairs, since the cars are very sensitive. But in NASCAR, well, they use a slightly different approach.
Problems for the 2 of Jesse Love.
You got to give that guy credit that just jumped right on the hood, never even thought about it.
Now that's how you fix a race car. And the craziest part, it actually worked. But now, out of all the moments shown earlier, here's the funniest thing that happened in racing. This Japanese Grand Prix will forever be remembered as Williams' most embarrassing day. See, Williams was dominating that year. They had the best car, and based on critics, even some of the best drivers, Damon Hill and David Coulthard. It was clear the team was on course to win both championships. And the same was expected at the Japanese GP. The race started well for Williams. Coulthard took the lead and controlled the race. Hill was close behind. Everything looked good. And as expected, it seemed like Williams would win. But then things became completely stupid. First, race leader Coulthard racing hard, but then he wasn't.
Maybe about to see, and David Coulthard gets very out of shape there. Now that's where Mon...
In just a second, that race leader with the fastest car out of the race.
Nice.
And wait, the stupidity didn't stop there. Damon Hill in the other Williams was trying to catch up to Schumacher. He was pushing as he was fighting for the World Championship. But then he made a mistake.
And off goes Damon Hill. Damon Hill bouncing across the gravel.
But somehow, he saved it. Hill was still in the race, which was important, as, like I said earlier, Williams was fighting for both Constructors' and Drivers' Championship. So, after other Williams' retirement, Damon had to get some important points. Clearly, now is the time to get your head down, as you cannot afford any more errors.
And he's done it again. This is unbelievable. He's done it again.
He made the same mistake
time
again.
He is out of the race.
Drivers' Championship fight, gone. Constructors' fight, gone.
And this time he is out of the race. Well,
even though they had the fastest cars, Williams still lost, all due to some terrific driving. You can see how the competitors' team principal was feeling. Oh, and by the way, what's even more interesting is that both Williams did go off a day before, at that same corner. So they essentially knew what not to do, and yet made the same mistake again.
Nice.
And right at that point, guys, I came to realize maybe Stroll isn't that bad. Just kidding. Anywho, you want to know what else is crazy? Racing moments that just seem impossible. Like when one driver betrayed his entire team. Or the time when a driver intentionally crashed into his opponent. And I know you want to know more about this. So just click this video right here.